Welcome back to Saturday Morning Coffee with Alcove, the podcast where we talk until I run out of coffee or run out of topics, and everything is a little alcove. Everything is occupying a little alcove of my brain. The first thing I wanted to talk about, and this comes from an NPR episode a little ways back. It's called Talking About the Homework of Life, and it's about like planning vacations, doing your taxes, getting your car checked. All these things are like the homework of life. And I was just thinking how helpful a life admin class would be. It was kind of talked about in the podcast, but I know that there are some entrepreneurial spirits out there that have probably made something like this, but I'm not about to drop a few $100s just for someone to tell me to use a planner. And then to criticize my planner, so that's not going to happen. But, some kind of like free thing out there I think would be really valuable. Of course, it would have been great in high school, but, everyone has an opinion about what should have been a class in high school. So I'm not about to say that so directly. By the way, this is the first hot coffee of the Saturday morning series. So usually I drink iced coffee. Just reminds me of like summer weather and makes me a little bit happier. But I didn't have the stuff to make iced coffee this time, so we're drinking hot with a good amount of honey. Okay, so back to the homework of life. This is definitely a struggle, and I think if you listen to my lists of lists episode, you get the idea that I have quite a lot of life homework going on at all times. But I get more bogged down by like the life homework list than any other list. So, for example, sitting 1 foot away from me right now is a puzzle that I'm supposed to be Mod Podging so that I can hang up. And it has been sitting here for maybe like probably 6 months, and I still haven't done it. And then just at the end of that is a very large stack of paperwork that I've been meaning to go through that I pulled out of my records, like my little storage box. And it's like just the most random shit. It's everything from old passwords to random doodles that have been given to me, and collections of notes for implementing into like the world history that I'm building, and like old homework files that I thought I was going to do something with. And I just need to go through it and actually get rid of it. But it is taking months to actually go through this stack. And it's just like, I've got so much other stuff going on that doing this homework of life is just exhausting, right? And so I listened to this episode to see, because usually this is the Life Kit podcast that I listen to for homework of life. And they always have at the end a couple of like takeaways from the episode. And here are the 4 takeaways they had, in case this might be helpful to you. 1, life admin is real and it needs attention. 2, if figure out your admin personality. Are you the reluctant doer, the super doer, the admin avoider, or the denier? I think I don't know. Like, these have to like blend into each other or be more of a spectrum than like succinct dividing line categories, because I'm definitely not reluctant or a denier, but I'm somewhere in between a super doer and an admin avoider, because I've got so much stuff that I ended up doing different things. And so like I'm doing a lot, but I'm avoiding some things, like especially like 2-minute tasks. I feel like I can do X amount of tasks, and it doesn't matter how big they are. I can only do so many. And so they could all be really big, or they could be a couple, or they could all be like really small. But it's just like an exact number that I have in me before I'm too exhausted. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting, and I wanted to share the takeaways. And if you have a way of dealing with the homework of life, number 4, find a buddy to do it with. Anyways, if you guys have a way of getting through the life admin that doesn't totally exhaust you, I would love to hear it. Just because sometimes I don't understand how other people are able to keep it going, or maybe they're not keeping it going more than me. Maybe they're just barely hanging in there. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. I have been listening to Avatar: Braving the Elements. And when I say listening to, I mean I discovered it about 2 months ago, and they've got a backlog of our podcast episodes all the way to 2019, I think, or maybe 2020. But I am caught up to just a couple of months ago now. I listened to at least 10 episodes a week of it because I wanted to get caught up before they started Korra, just to be able to go into the new series current. And I bring this up because an episode I just listened to, which I'll put in the show notes, they had a couple of guests on, and people, there was this really good quote that I wanted to share, or idea, I guess, but it was, people who like nonfiction are people who like to categorically look at things and learn from that. People who like fiction are those that like to learn life lessons through storytelling. So, you tell me, do you think this is accurate? Do you think that this has any kind of bearing whatsoever? Because I kind of think maybe it does, because I definitely take in life lessons better from storytelling. And I don't respond all that well to nonfiction books. I've never really been into them at all, especially growing up. As an adult, there's a couple of things that I've gotten more into, a couple of works that I'm a really big fan of and I learn from. But take a moment to think for yourself right here. Do you learn better through storytelling, or this more critical analysis of things? And then tell me, do you find yourself reading more fiction or nonfiction? And let's just see, is that accurate or not? Because, I don't know, this could be just someone blowing smoke out their ass. Who knows? All right, and I've got a quote, and I think I heard this in Mass Effect, which, by the way, I just finished Mass Effect 3, so now episodes 2 and 3 of the Game Journal should be coming out here in the coming weeks. Anyways, back to it. Here's the quote. I'm an all-in kind of guy. And when I heard this, and I think it was from Mass Effect, it just struck me really hard. I was like, that is a very simple quote that I'm sure has been said countless times over the years, right? But for some reason, it just stuck with me this time. And I think the reason it has is because I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. And this podcast, the Saturday morning series, has been giving me a lot of time to just think about things and reflect on it more so. And so I think this perfectly sums up my inability to do anything half-ass. I think I mentioned it briefly, but maybe this was during the list of lists, and I was also talking about how busy I am. Anyways, I can't just join an organization and just be a member, or just sit back and enjoy it. I feel this drive to just fully go all in and be as active as possible, take up some kind of leadership role, and get things done. And that kind of idea has perpetrated everything in my life. I am not able to just do things half-ass, or to just casually enjoy something. I have to go all in, experience everything there is, and fully commit myself to it. And it makes things really hard to actually go and enjoy and relax, right? And so I think I'm just going to use this as the phrase to explain who I am. I'm an all-in kind of guy. I can't do things half-ass. It was just a little musing that I got. Give me a moment here. My coffee's already getting cold somehow. Okay, I wanted to bring up pickleball. I don't understand. I feel like it came out of nowhere. Like there was, I'd known about pickleball a few months prior to this, but it was something that you did in gym class when you were a kid, and then never heard about it, right? At least in my experience. And then I feel like all of a sudden in the last couple of months, a couple of people started talking about it on TikTok. And now every single day this year that it has been warm enough to be outside, the tennis court that I pass on my walk home from work every single day is just maxed out with people playing pickleball. If you don't know what pickleball is, it's basically like tennis and ping pong combined. So you have like a ping pong racket and you're hitting like a almost like a tennis ball, but it's more plastic, and that's it. There you go. That's what it is. And now I see the paddles in stores everywhere. Everyone seems to be playing it. I don't know if we're like the victim of some kind of like pickleball psyops plot, but it's just literally everywhere now. And I don't know. Next time you're walking past the tennis court, check it out. Because I guarantee if you give it a sideways look, you're going to go, what the hell? Where does this come from? It's just a little notice that I saw on my way home from work that I wanted to mention. Another thing, I wanted to start using Quora because I saw a content creation kind of influencer, if you will, talking about using Quora to find ideas for content, like finding good questions that have a lot of traction and then use those questions to create content around. And I was like, oh, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. But then I started paying attention to just like the Quora homepage, and it's awful. That's a terrible fucking idea. Because some of these questions are the dumbest questions that you could come up with. Like there was, I wish I had saved it. There was one that was like, I abused my kid, but I don't understand why they don't want to talk to me anymore. And it was just like that vein. And then here's this one. The top one right now says, why doesn't Xi Jinping show a modicum of respect to his American counterpart Biden by speaking in English? What? What are you talking about? And it's just like, all of these questions seem to be like, if you took 30 seconds to think about this before you typed it out, we maybe could have answered this. Or maybe, could have saved yourself the embarrassment of posting this online for everyone to see. Some of these questions are genuinely just lacking of all common sense. And I don't know. I've decided that using Quora to find good podcasts or content ideas, not on the table anymore. If you know a way to genuinely find good questions on Quora, please reach out to me, because I'm starting to get convinced that Quora is a terrible idea. And granted, you can find some good questions on there sometimes, but it seems like the homepage is nothing but the dumbest clickbait or rage bait that you could possibly find. Reddit might be the only thing that tops it, or Facebook. Anyways. We're actually on our last topic, which coincides with being on the last drink or two of my coffee. But I wanted to mention the Internet Archive. If you're not familiar with the Internet Archive, you need to check it out, because this thing has, it's a nonprofit library for books, movies, software, music, websites, and so much more. Seriously, just take 2 seconds to go to archive.org and search up anything you want to search up. And you're going to find a wealth of content here. All right. I've been listening to some golden age of radio programs So that's like the 1940s through the 60s. And it's just fun. It's just fun to go back and like find these old things. But they've got, like I said, they've got movies and music, TV shows. You can download emulators to play old games. They've got just like, if you're looking for like behind the scenes things for anything, it's so easy to find this here. They've got the Wayback Machine, which lets you go back and view old versions of websites. Basically, they like, take a snapshot of it, and you're able to go back and like look at all these old versions and interact with them. And there's, like I said, it's a nonprofit, so it's all ran by, and it's ran by just a wealth of volunteers that contribute either to the code base or donating money or helping with like events that they throw, because they are a library, right? And so it's just like I said, a wealth of information that you can find here. And I've been using it for doing some research and prep for things that are upcoming. It's amazing. Seriously, like I said, go on here, take 30 seconds to look for something that interests you, and you'll find a lot. Also, if you're a big fan of like black and white movies, like I said, they've got a whole host of these old timey movies that you could go back and watch. And this is just like one of the best resources on the internet, I think. And so I just wanted to little, drop it right here for you to kind of go back and check out. And if you're not familiar with it, or you are familiar with it, just haven't used it, now's your opportunity. Go check it out. Anyways, that is what I've got for today. My coffee is pretty much out. My topics are out. Thanks for joining on Alcove. Everything's here, been occupying my brain, and I needed to get it out. So thanks for listening.